Hi, this is Kylie Myers, and this is my case study for EDL 854, the budget debacle. With summary and facts of the case. For starters, who? We have Carl Santos, who is the principal of Briardale Elementary. We have Mr. Barely, who is the newly chosen president of the Briardale Foundation, who is very motivated to raise funds for innovative curriculum programs in addition to the existing already there art, music, and foreign language programs. We also have Mr. Morley, who is a competing president of another elementary foundation, who is also former fraternity brother of Mr. Barely from Harvard, who also ran against him for class president and defeated Mr. Barely. There are also students at Briardale Elementary, 600 students in grades K through 5. We also have the sheriff, who ends up arresting Mr. Barely at the raffle event and convicts him of a misdemeanor and places him on probation. We also have the tipster, who turned Mr. Barely in for his illegal actions in putting on the raffle. As far as what has occurred, we have the Briardale Foundation, who is the sole funding for supplementary programs. They raise funds that are handed over to the side principal and placed in a fund for those supplementary programs that are recommended by this foundation. Then the principal forwards their suggestions to the school site curriculum committee. Then we have the foundation president, Mr. Barely, who wanted to raise money so that Briardale would have innovative curriculum programs, in addition to those supplemental programs that they already have there at the school. He came up with an idea of a cash raffle to earn funds. He got this idea from a fundraiser that he had done at Harvard that made quite a bit of money. It was to sell raffle tickets in exchange for a chance to win cash. He then established the strategy for selling the tickets and then went to the foundation for their approval and support, and he did get their approval. On the night of the raffle, however, Mr. Barely was arrested and convicted of a misdemeanor and placed on probation for his part in the raffle for cash event. This then ended up in the newspaper, and now Briardale's reputation is at stake. As far as where this is happening, at Briardale Elementary, they have 600 students, and they are one of 6 elementaries in their town, and each one of them has 500 to 800 students. They are set in the middle of the town, and they serve most of the time for a host to many community events. When did this occur? Mr. Santos, when Mr. Barely was chosen as the president of the Briardale Foundation, he gave him an orientation. Mr. Barely then came up with a strategy for selling the raffle tickets. It was also approved by the members of the foundation, and then this all occurred on the night of the raffle before he could even draw the first ticket. As far as legal and ethical issues, there was no physical harm done. There was some harm to the reputation of Briardale and what had previously been going on there. There is community and parent trust, or a lack thereof now, most likely. The students will most likely not have any supplementary curriculum resources because there is not going to be money coming in. And then the purchasers of the tickets that were sold could possibly lose money. As far as the action of violating a law, when Mr. Barely was arrested, there had to have been a law of some sort broken. This could be the lack of maintaining a permit for the raffle, or by not following district, state, and federal policies. As far as a breach of contract, he was obviously not following policies and laws if he was arrested, but as far as breaching his contract, we don't know if there was a written contract for the foundation for him becoming a president. And since this was a volunteer foundation, we don't think that there was needing to be a written contract. So for a summary sentence on what is occurring, Briardale Elementary and its foundation are facing legal charges after failing to follow district, state, and federal guidelines in regards to fundraising and gaming laws. So to analyze the facts, we have Carl Santos, who is the Briardale principal, who recently chose Mr. Barely to be the president of the Briardale Foundation. He had then had an orientation with Mr. Barely as a new president of the foundation, and then Mr. Barely comes up with this raffle idea to raise money for some innovative programs for the school. He then takes his idea to the members of the foundation, and they support it. At the event, before the first ticket can be drawn, Mr. Barely is arrested and convicted by the sheriff of a misdemeanor for his role in the raffle and is put on probation. He was tipped off by someone who knew more than anyone else about what was happening with this raffle. Now the 600 students at Briardale could lose the ability to have more innovative programs at their school. And the place that this is occurring is the Briardale Elementary, and I've discussed that they are one of 6 elementaries that is in the center of town with a very diverse community. As far as the programs, this isn't a public school, and for the most part they have a basic skills curriculum there at Briardale. They do have some supplementary programs like music, art, and foreign language. They have this prestigious Briardale Foundation who earns money for these extra supplementary programs, and they have good parent representation through that foundation. As far as unknown facts, what things did Mr. Santos give in his orientation? Was his orientation detailed enough, giving information on policies and laws and things that should be followed as far as fundraising? Were district, state, and federal guidelines and policies looked at prior to this fundraising activity? Policies for many things happening in the school, we have to make sure that we are aware of all of those. Were there steps taken to ensure and financial responsibility with ticket sales? For instance, were there receipts given for reconciling the account? Was there a change fund that was being used during this particular event? Were tickets and funds secured? And then many more financial responsibility things that could have been going on. And the last, because the raffle didn't take place, will the raffle ticket money be returned to purchasers? This may be a question that many people will be asking. To review and prioritize the information. This situation will obviously be damaging to all the stakeholders: students, staff, parents, the administration, and the foundation. The ones who are affected the most by this would be Mr. Barely, myself, the principal, the foundation, and then the students. Mr. Barely will have this on his record, and also his reputation will be hindered. Myself, my reputation will be lowered because I was not ensuring those policies and guidelines so that this did not occur. The students are affected because they will not be getting any supplementary programs if no money is being raised, and the foundation for approving what Mr. Barely's idea was. As far as consulting, I will need to consult with Mr. Barely, with the foundation members, the superintendent, and the accounting department. All of these things, all of these people should be consulted with if we take any actions and if any decisions are needing to be made. I added the accounting department in there because if this is something that has to do with financial responsibility, then they would be included as well. What are the district, state, and federal policies on raffles? These are some things we definitely need to be looking at, most likely before actually having a raffle. And why weren't they looked at prior to that? And then what other financial steps could have been taken? Here kind of goes back to all of those receipts and reconciliation and all of that. When asked if I have enough information to make a decision at this point, yes, I think we do have enough information, and there are many options that could happen here. So as far as those options and consequences and the pros and cons of each, if we decide to make no decision, obviously the damage is going to linger and there is not really a resolution. The reputation of the school and people involved could be lost, and then there's also a loss of trust going on. Mr. Barely will have to deal with the consequences on his own. The students and the school will suffer, and the parents also may miss an opportunity to earn money for the school and things needed for those students. There really is no responsibility on the school this way, but it also shows a lack of leadership. If we disband the foundation, There will be no money coming in for supplementary programs. We won't have to worry about the actions of the group if they are disbanded. We will also need to discuss with the superintendent and the board about restructuring funding so that those particular supplementary programs aren't just lost. And it also wouldn't be a foundation. There wouldn't be a foundation to help and to give the school their prestigious reputation that they may have because of this foundation as of now. If we relieve Mr. Bailey of his position as president of the Briardale Foundation, we can keep the foundation but just have a different leader. We can obviously learn from our mistakes that have been made by looking at current policies or maybe creating some new ones or maybe changing some of the ones that are there for the foundation. We could also add a district representative to the foundation to help out with things that are going on with the school. Sometimes when you have volunteers and they're not familiar with what goes on in the school, things do go differently. And then the last option would be to release Mr. Santos as an administrator for his lack of being aware of policies and making sure that they are being followed. This option will deter others for passing off responsibility to other people. It will also ensure that guidelines and policies are being followed at all times, with no matter what you're talking about, but then the school will then lose an administrator. Some intermediate strategies that could also be talked about would be are we going to refund the monies that have been given already? Could we come up with some fundraising rules and policies to go along with these? And then is there an option of involving students in the fundraising activities so that it's not just parents all the time? In my opinion, the best option would be to discuss with all stakeholders the decision to let Mr. Bailey go as the foundation president. He could still remain a member of the foundation, but just not as president. And then discuss creating roles and responsibilities, guidelines and policies for the foundation, and then to add a district representative to that foundation. So in implementing my decision, I would discuss my decision of relieving Mr. Bailey of his duty as the foundation president with the superintendent and the members of the foundation. I would then meet with Mr. Barley to let him know of my decision and that he could still be a part of the foundation, but just not as president. I would then create some roles and responsibilities of the foundation, as well as fundraising guidelines or policies that need to be followed. I would then appoint a district representative to be a member of the foundation. I would then meet with the members of this foundation to go over those rules and responsibilities, the fundraising guidelines and the policies, and then the reasoning behind adding a district member to their group. I would then discuss the repercussions of the foundation if anything like this were to happen again, which leads me to the backup plan. If those things did not work, then we would need to disband the foundation altogether. We would need to discuss the option of restructuring funding then to help with the supplementary programs, as the foundation would not be able to earn money in order to do that. Thank you.